Hello and welcome to the BBC School Report edition of the Wyvern. I'm Liam.
And I'm Hayden.
And in the news today,
the school trip to Kenya,
Enrichment Week 2013,
and the Titanic Exhibition at the Railway Museum.
But first, did you know that sugar could be seriously dangerous for you?
Here is Ben and Joshua with the story.
Sugar has been found to have toxic qualities.
And with the average American consuming 22 grams of sugar, when the healthy amount of sugar for a woman is 6 grams and for a man is 9 grams.
You may presume that sugar consumptions come from fizzy drinks. However, a lot comes from concentrated fruit juice that many people presume to be healthy.
This all means that with the multiple people consuming drinks, sugary drinks like Pepsi and Lucozade, being drunk at a regular basis, the problem will only escalate.
We interviewed pupils and food tech teacher Miss Hickerson for their opinion and thoughts on the matter. How much sugar in grams do you think is in one can of Pepsi?
10.
A kilo.
It's actually 41. And knowing this, how do you feel about drinking Pepsi and other sugary foods, and that they can be toxic towards you?
To be honest, I don't care because I've been alright up to now.
How much sugar in grams do you think drinks like Pepsi and Lucozade have?
A can of Pepsi's got 7 teaspoonfuls of sugar in a can, and a bottle of Lucozade has got 17 spoonfuls of sugar.
Yeah, in grams it's about 41 for Pepsi, so it's a lot of sugar. And knowing this, how do you feel about drinking Pepsi and other drinks or sugary foods, and that they have been discovered to be toxic towards you?
I would not encourage drinking any kind of fizzy drink, whether it be a sugary fizzy drink or a non-sugary fizzy drink. They both have an adverse effect on your teeth. The bubbles, the carbonated bubbles, actually erode the enamel around your teeth, and the high levels of sugar, if that energy is not used by your body, then it's deposited as fat cells. I think fizzy drinks are terrible.
Thanks for that, boys. We now go live to the Darlington Head of Steam Railway Museum, where Rebecca is going to tell us about the Titanic Exhibition, which is currently there. Rebecca, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Liam. I'm outside the main entrance of the Titanic Honour and Glory exhibition at the Head of Steam Museum. If you want to follow me inside, as you can see, there are lots of replicas of artefacts that would come from the Titanic. In the centre here, as you can see, there are lots of cups, plates, bowls, and these are all replicas of what would have been used on the Titanic and the White Star Lines, which was the company that made the Titanic. And this all would have been used on the Titanic by first class and sometimes second class passengers. If you follow me here, there are replicas of the uniform that would have been worn by certain passengers, and also a replica of the life jacket. Here is a data sheet of what time the lifeboats were launched and how many they had. The number in the bracket is the total number of passengers that could have been held. Now if you look at that, you could see that many more people could have survived if they just filled all of the lifeboats. As you can see here, before they knew the Titanic was going to sink, it's a list of posters and advertisements in different newspapers. For example, we have the Daily Mirror, which is reporting the next day of the disaster. Here I am outside replica of third class accommodation. These were on the lower decks of the boat, so they wouldn't have been very well situated. As you can see inside, they are very small and very simple. This would have been quite high price for the third class passengers, even though it's very simple. As you can see, there was just 2 bunk beds, and even after that there was very limited floor space. Unlike the top decks, this is very small, and the top decks would be able to fit families. In the total number of fatalities, only 178 third-class passengers out of the 706 on board survived. This means they didn't have enough treatment because they were poor passengers and didn't have as much time to escape. Right, here is a replica of the bow of the ship. So this is the front half of the ship. It's a very detailed model, and the designer who made this took thousands of photos to try and get every simple little detail in perspective. All the little scruffs and the little holes is obviously where the ball was hit by the expert.
School has had an enrichment week.
This has been to help the students to use their creativity.
Lots of trips have been taking place out of school. These include Cadbury's World, London, Yorkshire Sculpture Park and many, many more.
We've also been busy in school. Special creative lessons took place rather than the normal school timetable. T-shirt making, castle building, a talent show, PE activities and a whole lot more.
We interviewed Miss Kelly, who organised the week.
I think Enrichment went really well. There was lots of opportunities for people to go out on the trips and do lots of new and interesting things within school. They experienced new teachers, made new friends and had different experiences to what they would have otherwise, so I think it went really well. My favourite part of the week was the X Factor assembly.
Overall, I think that Enrichment Week was a huge success and highly benefited the school. This is Adam and Jonathan reporting.
Back to the studio.
A truly brilliant week and pupils learnt loads from it.
Now, as you may have heard, DSMS are going on an expedition to Kenya in 2014. 21 pupils will be going and they have been fundraising.
So far for the trip we've raised around £6,000, so we're doing quite well so far.
How much more do we need to raise?
The trip in total is going to be between £30,000 and £35,000 depending on the cost of the flights. So we've still got quite a way to go, but that will come from our fundraising efforts and some money that the school will be putting into it and also some contributions from the students themselves.
What fundraising have you been doing?
So far we've done a couple of backpacks at Morrison's and Marks and Spencer's in Darlington. We've also had some non-uniform days. We did a Christmas hamper raffle and we've also had a very successful race night.
Why are we going?
The idea behind the trip is that it'll give all the students that are going a life-changing opportunity. So it's something that they might not experience in their normal lives. It'll give them a chance to see the world from a different culture and be immersed in that culture and really help out a village, a rural village that has a lot less technology and a much different way of life to ourselves. So it'll give everyone a whole new experience.
Thanks.
Now, here is the sport with Sam and Ewan.
Hello and welcome to the sport with Sam and Ewan.
Today in the sport, Beckham is on a tour of China.
He has recently become the ambassador of football in China.
He was visiting schools and hopes it will encourage youth football to boost.
In other news, a football derby is going to be underway tomorrow.
The match is between Scotland and Wales.
It is a highly anticipated derby between two countries that have been rivals for years, as they have both been part of the British Isles.
Players such as Gareth Bale and Stephen Fletcher will be huge influences on the outcome of the game.
In other news, a horrendous tackle was the main talking point of the Premier League fixture between Newcastle and Wigan. The game finished 2-1 to Wigan after many controversial points.
The tackle was not seen by the referee, but it would have produced a red card. The tackle could have ended the Newcastle player's career and the opposition player showed no sympathy towards him.
The player did not get fined or banned, which virtually everyone was shocked and surprised about. In my opinion, the player should have been issued at least a 3-match ban and maybe even a money fine.
In regional news, Darlington are still top of the league.
At the minute, they are on an 11-match winning streak with over 110 goals this season already.
The games always have high amount of goals and Darlington usually come out on top.
That's all for the sport. Back to the studio.
That's all we've got time for. However, you can follow us online at www.wyvernnews.blogspot.com.
And you can follow us on Twitter, DSMS_Wyvern.
We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.